Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, as usual, y'all know I do this every single time, and that is to invite people to become a part of our community. Yes, I want you to become a part of our tribe. And let me tell you, I say it every time because it's true. This is the best community on these internet streets. I kid you not. You don't have to believe me. Go in the comments, talk to someone. I promise you, you're going to be impressed. Smart, insightful, intelligent, you name it. You name the adjective. Oh man, they are everything. And once you get finished in the comments, you know what you need to do. Yes, you need to come out, look down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. Why not? It's free. Go ahead and join the best community on these internet streets. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too, so you'll know when I upload or when I just want to pop in, and I do from time to time. I do pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. Let me tell y'all, I have been winning. I'm on a winning streak, y'all. So thank you for the thumbs up. Also, I just want to give a big thank you and a big hug to all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Let me tell you, it really helps. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not something that is easy to do, but let me tell you, it is everything. So thank you. Also, over there in the corner, right there, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I promise you, I'll be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, our Super Thanks button is right in the opposite corner, and all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, I do have some shout outs, and first up is Elizabeth Cumberbatch. Elizabeth, thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being a part of this community. I be seeing you in the comments, and boy, do you be bringing the knowledge. You do, and you are just such a vital part of this community, and I am so grateful and so lucky to have you as a part of my tribe. So thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. Yes, thank you for being here. Also, Jimmy Me Way. Jimmy Me Way is everything and so faithful. Oh my goodness, she is so faithful to this channel and her community. Yes, she is always in the comments, sharing her knowledge and sharing her opinion on the topic of the day. Yes, Jimmy Me Way is everything, and I am so lucky to have her as a part of this community. So thank you, Jimmy Me Way. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here and being a part of this community. You make it so much better just with your presence. All right, y'all, I'm going to play something and then we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all, I just want to give another quick thank you to Elizabeth Cumberbatch and Jimmy Me Way. Listen, y'all are everything. Y'all know it. Y'all already know that y'all everything, and I appreciate you so very much. So thank you for the super thanks. But like I said, always Thank you for being here, because that right there is everything. All right, y'all, let's get started. And y'all know when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I hit these internet streets. And that's exactly what I have been up to today. I've been up, down, all around these internet streets, just looking around corners, peeping under cars, trying to figure out what the squatties are talking about. And y'all know I spent most of my time today, believe it or not, over on TikTok. Let me tell you, the TikTok squatties are just another kind of squatties. I love them. They're so intelligent. They come at what is going on across the pond in such a different angle. And I just love it. I do. Now, y'all know I love my Instagram squatties. What would I do without my ex, formerly known as Twitter squatties? But that's why I say, our squad is a huge, huge tent. And that is one thing that I really love about our community, because it is filled with all different kinds of people. And I absolutely love it. I do. And I'm going to play a soundbite from one of the squatties over. I guess he's a squatty. I know he absolutely ride hard for Meghan. And we all know that's what squatties do. So I just assume he is a squatter, because he be riding hard for Meghan. So I'm going to play a soundbite from him. We're going to talk about what else the squatties are talking about. Basically, what they're talking about is dragging Kate. They are still dragging Kate. I don't think that whole little outing that she did yesterday, trying to stop the afterglow of Meghan's sold out performance when it comes to her rosé, it just didn't, hit like they thought it was going to hit. Because I showed y'all yesterday in my last podcast, everybody who posted about it, like Russell Myers and Chris Ship. What does Byron say about Chris Ship? Ship with a P, not a T. Yes, that one. Roy Nicka, The Telegraph, all of them posted about, you know, Kate's outing and her talking about her cancer journey and how she's just not the same anymore. But I tell you what, it didn't hit like they thought it was going to hit, because all in those comments, the ones who were brave enough to keep their comments on, let me tell you, they ate them up. They ate them up. And I don't think they were ready for that, because, yeah, the afterglow is not glowing so brightly over there across the pond after that little outing, and how people just went in on her. And just a lot of them were saying what needed to be said, that what people are saying. And that is, she doesn't seem like somebody who has had cancer. Yes. And it just seems like the cancer comes and goes, and her side effects comes and goes as she needs cover. Yeah, people are just not feeling it. And so the squatties are still dragging her. We got some news coming out of the Dutchies. We're going to talk about that. And just a little bit of other little knick-knack stuff. But yes, most of it is people dragging, skull dragging Kate up and down these internet streets. But first, I want to play this sound bite from this gentleman. He is on TikTok, and let me tell you, the way he expressed himself and his opinion about what is going on with Meghan, ooh, chef's kiss. So that is the reason why I wanted to share it. So I'm going to put up a picture, and then we will discuss on the other side.
You know what I love about Megan Sussex? That despite the abusive relationship that she left behind with the British media, they're still crashing out about her every move. Every single thing Megan does causes them to crash out even more. I mean, they're going levels of crash out, like levels, every move. So, of course, getting out of that environment they lost their minds, right? And they have paid people in the media to just harass her and do all the stuff that they've done. And then her settling in Southern California, her podcast, her interviewing other women, focusing on women. Her wonderful Netflix show, one season, fantastic. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's delightful, and it's been renewed for a season 2. Every time she pops up somewhere publicly at some big event or something like that, and the work that she's doing, they crash out. Um, her old podcast, her new podcast, and now she has some jam or something, and they are losing their mind. Oh wait a minute, I forgot about her releasing the video for her daughter's birthday, showing her dancing while she was pregnant. Oh, they lost their minds. And if you've ever witnessed or been in an abusive relationship, I'm sorry, and if you survived it, you recognize all the signs that British media are displaying, and it's just abusive. It's just they no longer have access to her, and that causes them to crash out even harder. That's one. And then the flip side of that is the more she thrives and lives her life the way she decides her life will be lived, the life that her kids will live, and the life that her husband will live, the harder they crash out. They absolutely hate it. And I'm telling you, it is emblematic of abusive relationships. You've seen them or witnessed them or survived them. You know what I'm talking about. I witnessed it with my mother. The more she thrived after leaving her abusive partner, my father, the bigger hater he became. And when they don't have access to you, then they lose it. In the British media, they do not have access to her. So they just go on and they find guests to just talk about her. And that lady out there making jam in Southern California, living her best life with her prince and her beautiful little babies. And they hate that. So you know what? Let that be a lesson to all of us who have survived abusive relationships, that we deserve the right to thrive and live our best lives. And we can put the past behind us, and we can ignore the haters, because they'll always be there hating. And you know what? Just let them just wallow in the muck and pollution of their own hate, and go out and live your best life like Meghan.
And y'all, when I heard this particular TikTok, I just had to share because he just breaks it all down. You know, this is just their toxicity, their crash out, because Meghan, number one, they don't have access to her, and number two, her success. It triggers them every time. Every time Harry and Meghan had some big event or some type of success or something happen, like her product drops, they crash out. Here they come with all the stupidity. They done dug up the queen's cousin and put words in her mouth saying that this is what the queen thought, and all kinds of matter of nonsense they have come up with because they are crashing out, because the story just didn't turn out the way they thought it was going to turn out. They really thought that they had the power of life and death in their pens. They did. They thought that they had the ability to choose the winners and the losers. And they had decided that Harry and Meghan was going to be the losers. But it didn't turn out that way. It did not. And boy, they are crashing out about it. And they're not the only ones crashing out about it. That family over there is crashing out about it. I saw Squatties talking about how bad Kate looks and how bad William looks. He just is starting to turn the corner where he doesn't look like he's absolutely locking himself in a room, in a dark room somewhere, smoking a crack pipe. He just started looking like he's actually, you know, gonna be okay. Both of them was crashing out. And if you don't think that that's true, let Harry pop up or Meghan pop up. You'll get story after story, article after article that they have planted from Kensington Palace have planted to try to derail Harry and Meghan's success. That is why Kitty Cat popped out. Yeah, she popped out to get people to stop talking about Meghan's success, her successful wine drop. Yes, and she popped out. But like it always go, it never goes the way they plan. Because like I said before, they ate her up. You name the one that posted about her, you go to Roy Nicker, you go to Russell Myers, you go to the BBC comments, you go to whoever comments that posted about it, and you will see if they left those comments on, Kate got ate up. She did. It just did not go the way they thought it was going to go. And neither did this story about the queen. And this woman, I think she was the queen's niece or the queen's cousin. She was some relations to the queen, and she's also deceased, and they putting words in her mouth as well. I think this author is coming out with a book, and they're gonna just trash the queen's legacy and portray the queen as a bigot and someone who is absolutely two-faced and backstabbing. Because why would the queen seem perfectly happy and sweet in Meghan's face and is in the back talking to her cousin or a niece or whoever this woman is, trashing her? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And if she did, that's not something they need to do to, connect this with her legacy. But they could care less about the queen's legacy, this woman who sit on the throne for 70 years. They could care less as long as they can use her to try to hurt Meghan. This is what this man is talking about, the big crash out. They are crashing out. And it has to be the longest crash out in modern day history. I have never saw a crash out go 6 years. This is what is happening here. They have been crashing out consistently for 6 whole years. I can't. And y'all know they be talking about how Harry and Meghan is like Edward and Wallace, the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Yes, he gave up the throne to be with his love, Wallace. But I digress. They be saying that Harry and Meghan is like Wallace and Edward, but Edward was king. Harry was never going to be king. Once William had children, Harry had a minute and still has a very minute chance of ever becoming king. But they act like he was the heir instead of the spare, because the crash out is epic. It is. So I agree with this guy. It is just a direct response to the fact that they're so toxic and was so abusive. When you are in an abusive relationship and you leave, they crash out because they no longer have access to you. That was such a great move by Harry and Meghan, saying that they were going to have nothing to do with them. And for 6 straight years, Harry and Meghan has served them plate after plate after plate of dust. And they have continued to crash out about it. And like I said, that family as well. Look how William crashed out when Harry never even called his name in his last interview, never even acknowledged him. And he did nothing but crash out, planning stories, how he didn't want to see Harry no more, how Harry wasn't coming to his kind of nation, and on and on and on. Yes, crashed the F out. I mean, in Technicolor. He did. So yes, I just found this man's his analysis just so spot on. So I had to share it with y'all. But yes, they are crashing out. And we might as well just understand that this is going to go on. And that is the reason why us squatties are here, is absolutely to push back on the crash outs, to get in there and to absolutely make them look like the fools that they are. Because let me tell you, they've been acting a fool here lately. What is this about Meghan is supposed to be making her own jam? She's supposed to be crushing the grapes to make her wine. I mean, just foolishness. Just straight up foolishness. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty talking about Kate. Yes, Dragon Kate said this. Oh, dear. The lazy wisteria sister has really taken some slights over the past 24 hours. More people are starting to see right through the bullshit. I can't wait for her Wimbledon appearance. Yes, people are just saying, we see you, and we see the changing and the shifting of the goalposts. Because let's not forget, this all started out with them saying that Kate didn't even have cancer. And now it's progressed from, cancer was once present and now she's going to do preventative chemotherapy to full-blown cancer. Yes, and she'll never be the same again. That's what it has progressed to. And I don't think it progressed in her body. I think it progressed over there in the PR arm of Kensington Palace. That's where the progression has happened. And this particular squatty came up under that and said, do you know I was feeling that she won't go? I think kindergartner memorized speech didn't do it. And this is what they're saying. The squatties is saying, and I went back and watched it because I thought I couldn't understand what she was saying. I watched it about 10 times trying to figure out what she was trying to say. But then when I start listening to the squatties and seeing it pop up that a lot of the squatties believe this whole thing was a memorized speech. And y'all know that's the way they do it. They never do anything, spontaneously. They don't. They do not. Everything is scripted. And I start saying, I'm going to go back and listen to it again. And it absolutely does look like she memorized it. And she was struggling trying to remember what her lines was. That is the reason why we had such a hard time understanding what she was saying, because she was trying to memorize her lines. And I'm thinking she probably got some of them crossed up, because y'all know anything past 2 sentences, she has a problem with. And they gave her a whole little speech, and boy, it was tough on Kate. I'm telling you, Kate was getting tripped up. She was getting tied in knots. I'm telling you, when she left that place, she had about 2 or 3 knots in her. She looked like a rope. She did. And then this squatter goes on to say, well, I'm going to read it over. It says, do you know, I have a feeling that she won't go. That kindergarten memorized speech didn't do it. If anything, it made people ask more questions and infuriate the real sufferers. I do not think it's doing what it was meant to do. Reactivate the sympathy card so that it's a standing ovation for Wimbledon's appearance. But gauging by the overall reaction, she might be advised to sit it out. Yes, because I'm telling you, they ate her up in them comments. And that's what the squatters are saying, that this was to reactivate the sympathy so she could get another standing ovation at Wimbledon. Yes. And I don't doubt that for a minute. Go back and watch that, or look at the pictures of her getting that standing ovation for nothing, for absolutely nothing. And she was just eating it up. She is such an empty vessel. She is so in need of other people's approval, praise, and reverence. And when it is given to her, she is in heaven. She really is. Because I have said this time and time again, Kate know who she is. She knows she's mediocre. She does. That is the reason why it's so much hate towards Meghan, because of Meghan's excellence, her achievements, and the points she continues to put on the board. That is Kate. Kate knows who Kate is. But yes, it did not go off like they thought or they planned it to. Because at the end of the day, people just are just fed up with it. They're not having it. Because it is so clear that this woman is doing nothing but faking. I'm just saying, my opinion. All right, I'm gonna put this one up. And this Squatty said, I have never seen a recovering cancer patient milk cancer as much as Kate has. By the way, this was Kate downhill skiing a few months ago. She looks energetic and physically well enough to engage in a dangerous activity to me. Roller coaster my arse. Exactly. And that is the reason why people are not buying it. Because my timeline is filled up with Kate on skis, enjoying herself. You know how much physical stamina you have to be able to downhill ski like she is in this picture? You know how much physical, it drains you physically. It does. But she wants us to believe that she just can barely go. She couldn't even make it to Ascot to ride in a carriage. And then after she got there, to sit in the air conditioning and drink champagne. Too exhausting. But she can downhill ski time and time again on vacation. I'm sorry, holiday. It is something else. And that's why people are just not having it. And I'm going to put this up. And this is one of the reasons why people are not having it. Why this dog is not hunting this time. And look at this is a repost. Look at the original post. It says, what brave face did Kitty put on during her supposed treatment? Oh, wait, nobody saw her. That's right. Yes, people never saw any indication that she had went through anything. And we know she said she went to the hospital in the back, a NHS hospital and all of that. We've been given the story, but we have saw nothing to prove that this woman has gone through what she says she has gone through. I'm just saying. And she was supposedly going through chemo during the last Wimbledon. And she said that she had a port in her chest. Well, she wore a dress that showed no sign of a port. Yes, people went back and checked that picture because the reason we know she was still supposedly in chemo is because William used her as an excuse for him not to have to go to the Olympics. Y'all remember that? Yes, he used her saying because she was still in treatment, he did not want to leave her. Yes. So we all know that she was going through chemo at the time. Where was the port? The port that she said when she visited that hospital that she just grew attached to. Y'all remember her saying that? She said her port she just grew attached to. That statement kind of got lost because she was up there talking nonsense, talking about plenty of sunshine and water. But she also said that. She said that her port that they put into her for her to do the chemo, she had grown attached to it. Well, where was it during that standing ovation at Wimbledon? And also, why would a person who is actively receiving chemotherapy, be at a huge event like that and be around so many people when you are, immune compromised? Yes, why would she do that? But we all know that everything that Kate has done, in her performative cancer treatment has never made sense. It's always been 2 plus 2 is 5. And that is the reason why this dog continues to not hunt. And then, like I said, this is another reason. It says 76-year-old King Charles, who is actually diagnosed with cancer. I'm still not convinced of that, but okay, is out there doing his so-called royal duties, even traveling overseas, while this lazy woman who has never told the public her cancer diagnosis is still recovering from it and skis. Is this incompetence or just plain laziness? These are some of the comments that have been left on all of these posts that these flying monkeys was sent out to do. They got a load of something that they wasn't prepared to get. Yes, people unloaded on them, and it was not sympathy or empathy. It was not. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up, and it says, I cannot stand King Charles the Cruel. He's, you know what that sign means. But you got to admit he handled his diagnosis with credibility. That is the reason why a lot of people kind of go back and forth when it comes to Charles. I kind of go back and forth sometime with Charles, if he has cancer or not. But I always seem to come back to he does not. That this was about the eggs flying over his head. This was about the races being outed as the royal races. This was more about his popularity. People was just not feeling him and his horse when they first came in, to the point where the Republican movement was really, really growing, and they really had to do something to try to put a kibosh on it. So that is the reason why I never really fell for the whole thing that completely that Charles has cancer. I am never, ever 100% that he has it. I'm always like in the low 90s that he don't. Because he hadn't lost a hair and he hadn't lost his childbearing hips at all. And his sausage fingers look like they actually have improved. I'm just saying. But this particular Squatty is true. He has done a better job with his credibility. He has. And then she goes on to say, no obvious lies, no fake pictures, no mixed messages about diagnosis, treatment, or recovery, no obvious exploitation of the diagnosis, no using the diagnosis to excuse laziness. Exactly. That is the reason why Charles has pulled his off better than Kensington Palace, that better than Kate has, because they have done all of this. And this last one is absolutely making everybody look at her with a side eye, saying, did you really have cancer? People who have never questioned it before are now questioning if she ever had it. I kid you not. And also, I saw a lot of posts like this, talking about how the Queen worked up until the day before she died, and how Kate has done nothing but make excuses after excuses after excuses. Yes, and the poor Queen, this little petite woman, 96 years old, worked up until the day she did. And this is just an example of one of the posts that I saw like that. And it says, Queen Elizabeth worked the day before her death Kate Middleton pulled the precancerous cell card every week or so. The British media stance on Kate can't do no wrong and Megan Sussex can't do no right is an actual blessing for Megan and a curse for Kate. Hashtag Megan Sussex thrives. Exactly. And that is the reason why a lot of people have a problem with Kate. Kate is in her early 40s. The Queen was in her 90s. And yet and still she worked up until the day before she died. They propped her up until then. And you have to give the Queen her props. Now, Queen Betty, you can build a case, against Queen Betty. You absolutely can. But one thing she did, she had a sense of duty. And let me tell you, the day before she died, she did this engagement, to meet the new prime minister, but she did it with a smile on her face. And all I can say to that is that right there is a monarch. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And like I said, a lot of people was talking about this speech that she made. It was supposed to be, well, they wanted us to believe that it was like a spontaneous thing that she was talking, off the cuff. But the Squatties have absolutely clocked her and really feel like this was a rehearsed speech. Like the ones you used to do when you was a little girl. You had to say your Easter speech. You had all dressed up and you had to come to the front of the church and say it. Yeah, they were saying that Kate was talking like a 5-year-old doing an Easter speech. And this particular squatty said this: Kate only did that because she didn't want to get criticized for Wimbledon. They're saying she never even would have did this engagement because she didn't want to get criticized. But baby, she absolutely did not understand what was coming. She did not see the Mack truck coming down the street because at the end of the day, she got criticized. She got drugged. And then it goes on to say she didn't know what she was talking about. And we didn't know what she was saying. 20 years in the royal family and they couldn't afford public speaking lessons. I can't even laugh because it was embarrassing. Yes, I'm telling you, they drug her about that. I'm telling you, those captions, I don't know who decided to put those captions on that particular video that they took of her speaking, but boy, she got drugged for that. People are asking her, in the comments, is English her first language? What is going on here? We don't know what she's talking about. Teach the girl sign language. We need sign language because we can't understand the words that are coming out of her mouth. I'm just saying, they drug her. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And to me, this right here tells me what this whole thing was about. All this trying to reactivate the cancer card and everything like that. I really feel a lot of it was to lower expectations because we all know that Kitty Cat cannot compete with Meghan. And now the world is seeing that Kitty Cat cannot compete with Meghan. I mean, not even close, the two of them. And so now they want to blame all of her mediocrity on her cancer. Because look at this, what was in page 6. And I saw it on a lot of different websites. People are repeating this. This is the spiel that is coming out of Kensington Palace, trying to explain why Kate is not up to par when it comes to the comparison between her and Meghan. It's all because of the cancer. And it says Kate Middleton emotionally admits she is not able to function normally after completing cancer treatment. Really difficult. Yeah, she's saying it's really difficult for her to function normally. Well, Kate is functioning pretty much like she's always functioned, and that's mediocre. I mean, I don't see no difference in what Kate is doing now than she did before she, you know, decided to tell us about her performative cancer. She was mediocre before and she's mediocre after, but they're trying to blame her mediocrity on cancer treatment. I believe this is what is happening here. They're trying to construct a narrative that this is why Kate is not as excellent as Meghan. Not because of, she's lazy. She's not very intelligent. She's mediocre. No, 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 no. That's not the reason why she doesn't measure up. It's because of her cancer and her cancer treatment. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think, but I really think that this right here is a clue of where this is going, you know, because when she can't tie those two sentences together, they want to try to blame it on cancer. But we all know that Kate she could not tie two sentences together when she first entered that family. Byron plays this little clip about how he asked her, he'll say, let's go to Kensington Palace and see what they say about this. And I'm telling you, he plays this clip of Kate, and Kate just ties herself in several knots. Not one knot, not two knots, but I'm telling you, she is really naughty when that particular interview question is over, to the point where she said, yeah. That's all she had left, because she had wrestled those few sentences and they had got the best of her. But I really, really feel that this is the narrative that they're trying to go with. Y'all tell me what y'all think. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this is a post from David. And David is, I don't know if he's a squatty or not, but he's always posting these beautiful pictures of Princess Diana all the time. When Charles and Camilla was doing their Australia tour, that's when he started popping up on my timeline, because he kept posting pictures of Princess Diana when she was, when she went on tour in Australia. I mean, these beautiful, beautiful pictures. And so I start really paying attention to what David was doing. And he still posts beautiful pictures of Princess Diana, and he posts about Meghan now. And he posted this, so I had to feature it in my podcast. He said, my, how tables have changed. Funny, that isn't it. If they had the guts to welcome her and see her as a clear asset, then they wouldn't be in the current mess. Once the old one starts to go, there will be no one left. And those two still won't step up. Jealousy never ends well. Where is the lie? And that's all it is, jealousy. Meghan and Harry outdo them at every turn. And instead of seeing them as an asset, like I said, I have said it time and time again, Harry would have made William a better king. Meghan would have made Kate a better person and a better queen. But now they're just going to be mediocre. And the people are really starting to figure that out. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And believe it or not, the Squatties absolutely found where that blouse that Kate wore yesterday to that engagement to the cancer institution or society or whatever it was, Meghan had worn it back in 2023. Yes, it was the exact same blouse. We thought it was just her switching up the colors from the one that Meghan wore to Wimbledon, way back when she first married Harry. No, 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 no. It is a carbon copy of the one that Meghan wore back in 2023. They have a Pinterest board of everything that Meghan wears. Everything that Kate had on was pieced together from things that Meghan has worn in the past. The shoes, the blazer, just in a different color, same pinstripe, pushed up, same blouse. I mean, everything the same. She was out there in the garden, the same. It is just so white, single white female. It just is. This Squatty said this. First, you accuse her of wanting your fashion contacts. Then you copy her whole style. It must be an illness. Credit for Megan's picture goes to autonomy underscore six. Yes, she has copied everything that's Megan. The blouse. I mean, the blouse, the exact same blouse. She just got the jacket in a different color, same pinstripe, pushed them up just like Meghan, wore the same trainers, the same tennis shoes that Meghan had on in Australia. Yes, every little piece she had on was something that Meghan had worn in the past. It is an illness. That's all I'm saying. And it is creepy. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And like I was saying earlier, the big thing now, this is what they're pushing, that the Queen didn't like Meghan, that the Queen was a biatch and talked behind Meghan's back. She didn't think Meghan loved Harry. Just all this nonsense. But let's be reminded that the Queen took Meghan on the train, something that she had done for none of them. They hadn't rode that train. And this particular Squatty said this. Remember when Queen Elizabeth II took Meghan on the royal train in June 2018, almost a month after the wedding in May 2018? You can see that they got along well. Look at them in the video. Exactly. Exactly. That is a reason that this whole narrative that they're trying to push now, it absolutely just do not wash, because it's video evidence that it is not true. It is a clip out there. I saw it on my timeline where the Queen and her and Meghan aren't aware that anybody can see them. This is an amateur video of them after they got in the car. The Queen grabbed her blanket and then she took her blanket and spread it over Meghan's legs as well. Now, you tell me, a woman that absolutely been talking all manner of shist about a person, that she's going to care if she's cold or not? Stop it. Stop it. It makes no sense. But yet, and still, here they are, just like the man that I played earlier, crashing out. This is just a crash out. And I am here for it. I love to see them crashing out, because when people are crashing out, they're in pain. And their pain and their tears are so delicious to me. I'm just saying. And it says the late Queen never did that with Kate Middleton, and also known as Doolittle, who at that time, yes, but the Queen, we all know the Queen did talk shice about her, because they printed it in the pages of all those rags over there, saying that the Queen thought that she was not a woman of substance, that she needed to get a job, that she absolutely was lazy. Yes, called her Duchess Doolittle. Yes, that was a name that they gave that the queen, well, what they say the queen gave to her. Yes, the queen gave Meghan some pearl and diamond earrings and gave Kate a nickname. But I think she gave her something too. But yeah, she did give her that name, Doolittle. And boy, did she get that one correct. And also, the queen was quoted as saying that she admired Meghan's work ethic, that Meghan worked almost up until the time that she was about to give birth to Archie. Y'all remember Meghan went on tour to, where was it, Morocco, and she was heavily pregnant. When have you saw Kate go anywhere when she was heavily pregnant? They would always put out that lie. Now I'm saying it's a lie, but because everything that comes out of Kensington Palace, I question it all. And now I'm questioning this, that, they put it out that she had this bad, really horrible morning sickness. And she just couldn't do anything. She absolutely could not do anything. She maybe would show up you could count on one hand how many times she did an engagement while she was pregnant. Meghan never slowed up. And they say that the queen said she admired her work ethic. Now, this is supposed to be coming from a woman who just do nothing but talk just craziness behind Meghan's back. Stop it. Stop it. And how many pictures do they have of the king, of the queen and Prince Philip and their newborn child? Who, does Zara have that? I'm just saying, that's not a christening. That's not at a christening. But the Queen and Prince Philip made a point to see Archie. After they did the news, that news conference and showed the world Archie, that picture was taken, that famous picture was taken of the Queen, Prince Philip, Archie, Doria, and Harry and Meghan. Where is their picture? And this is why they hated her, because the queen did for her that she didn't do for other people. And she started it from the beginning. And they really had a problem with Meghan because of it. And yet and still now they want us to believe that the queen hated Meghan, that she didn't think Meghan loved Harry, and on and on and on. But let's be for real. The queen's behavior when she was alive do not match the words that they are putting in her mouth now. I'm just saying. So they can just stop with the nonsense. Stop it. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this is a repost. And the original post is Kate's eye bags. I did not cover her name up because I love this Squatty. And I love her name. And so Kate's eye bag says this. Wait a minute. Kate joined the firm April 2011. And you are telling me she only got to ride the train with Willie December 2020 after Meghan left the firm January 2020. And that right there, I feel, was another rub for them. They absolutely were so jealous when Meghan was riding on that train with the Queen. They were jealous of Meghan's relationship with the Queen, Harry's relationship with the Queen. They were all jealous of it. They are a bunch of vipers, a bunch of scorpions that do nothing but sting each other. But isn't it so funny? And I don't mean funny, ha ha. I mean funny, weird. That the minute Harry and Meghan was gone, Kate and William came up with a reason to go on that train, because it was such a big success when it came to Meghan and the Queen. I'm telling you, the press was going crazy. They were running beside the car. and they wanted everything, all the all the excitement, all of the shine that Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, was creating. They could not take it. And even though we were in the middle of the big C, yes, this was during the time of the big C. And even, I think they wrote it to, y'all correct me in the comments, didn't they write it to Ireland? And the people of Ireland was telling them, don't come. It was either Scotland or Ireland. I think it was Scotland. Let me know in the comments. But they were saying, don't come to Big C. We don't want, we all shut down with the Big C. They could have cared less. They crawled onto that train and did that. And of course, it was a disaster. But yes, she joined in 2011 and never got on the train until 2020. And I bet she never even thought about that train until it was such a success for the Queen and Meghan. These people, those two, they are exactly the same. Different sides of the same jealous, envious, evil coin. I'm just saying. And the reason I think this Squatty is talking about the train, Charles is decommissioning the train because he says it costs too much. Because they know that the people of Great Britain is getting sick of paying all this money for a family who absolutely do not deserve it. And so now he's talking about he's slimming down. He's talking about he's decommissioning the train. He's saving money, but we all know that they are taking money hand over fist. We all know that they are getting a huge, huge raise. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this popped up on my timeline. And I must say, I was surprised, but not surprised. Because we all know that these people know that they're circling the drain. They know that they're circling the drain. They do. Because that barrier pole shocked them. That barrier pole during the trooping of the color rocked them to their core. And now look at this. This particular Squatty posted it and said, breaking news, following the Dispatch documentary last year, King Charles' estate is to review rent charges for public bodies. Yes, he is reviewing if he's going to continue to charge the NHS to park their ambulance and on and on and on. The cancer charities, he's going to review that instead of telling them that they don't have to pay any rent. Because would it really, really hurt Charles? Because he's getting a lot of money from the public purse. He's getting a lot of money elsewhere. His little cold, fat fingers are all into the taxpayer's pocket. So he could afford not to charge these particular charities rent, but he is just putting it under review. And it says the Duchy of Cornwall has decided to cut rent it charges to some charities. Now, William said, I'm going to cut it. And William saying that he was going to cut the rent to some charities is the reason why Charles is saying he's going to review. Because we all know Charles. Charles will not give anybody anything. He don't care about anybody except himself. When he had his baby boy walking around in rags with shoes that had holes in them and living in a shack and telling him that he could not afford for him to get married. He couldn't afford his wife. You know the kind of trash person Charles is. Why would he have sympathy for a charity? I'm just saying. But yeah, so he's reviewing it, and William is absolutely cutting the rent. Now he ain't doing nothing about the moldy houses that he's charging those people for, those damp houses filled with damp and the rain raining in on their heads and all that. No, he ain't doing nothing about that. But he is reducing the rent for some of the charities. Yes, yes. They are really starting to feel it. When you see stuff like this happen, the barrier pole shocked them. It rocked them. It absolutely did. And this Squatty goes on to say the royal family's popularity is falling, and this may have played a part in their decision. It may, what? How did she put it? This may have played a part. No, 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 no. It was the reason why this is happening. Like I said, that barrier pole, it shook at them. It did. And it should have. Because at the end of the day, people are tired of the BS. I read today, I was looking for articles and stuff like that, and I read that I can't remember how many. I think it's like 2 point some million children in the UK is in poverty, and it's getting worse. This year they added 100,000 more children in poverty, and they're riding around in gold carriages and riding around in helicopters and all this nonsense and doing nothing. Nothing. They have gotten to the point now that they don't even pull the string to open the curtain to reveal the plaque. The plaque just sits there. It goes it goes unrevealed. It does. The ribbons go uncut. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up, and this is new for me too. I did not know this was happening. You know, every time they accuse Harry and Meghan of doing something, it ends up they're doing it. Look at this. It says hate arrangers who claim Meghan Sussex and Prince Harry's merch their children and exploit Princess Diana's name. What about Wank murdering Princess Diana in KP's gift shop? How making a buck off of your dead mom's honoring her memory? Keep it classy, and look at all the things that they got in the Kensington Palace gift shop. They got pictures of Princess Diana, I think, with her wedding, you know, the dress, a dress for Diana. They got one of the little key rings. I guess that's a key ring with a, that looks like Princess Diana's engagement ring. Now it's Kate's engagement ring. Cups and all kinds of things with Princess Diana on them. And do I find this offensive or anything? Absolutely not. This was his mother. He's keeping her memory alive. But the only problem I have with this is that Harry can't sit on a stage and say, my mother. Or he does something for his mother and he'll say, this is for my mother. How is that Harry murching his mother? But yet and still, they accuse him of doing that. And in actuality, William and Kate are doing exactly that in the gift shop of Kensington Palace. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this is from Richard Eden, Maureen. And the obsession with Meghan when it comes to him continues. He is out here peddling that same story that we talked about earlier about the Queen, doubting how Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, doubting Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's romance. New evidence emerged. Yes, right. This man absolutely is so obsessed. His whole career is built around this nonsense. But the reason I posted this didn't have anything to do with him. It had to do with the squatty that came up under it and ate. I mean, this squatty ate and left no crumbs. This is what this squatty said. If your plan is to keep pushing the idea that Queen Elizabeth was a racist, bigoted, closed-minded woman, you can stop. We know. She ate him up. I'm telling you, she ate him up and spit the bones out. She did. It's just chef's kiss because that's exactly what he's saying about the queen. If he's saying that she said all of these things about Meghan, and I just love the way this particular squatty just slammed him on the ground and then proceeded to walk up and down his lifeless body. She absolutely ate him up. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up because squatties are continuing to get their goodies. This is a repost, and the original post said this: I'm a big Duchess Meghan fan, and I live in the south of France. So it was an incredible surprise from my husband when the DHL delivery came today. Joy and love. Look what her husband bought her. Oh my goodness, can she please throw him on a copy machine and make all of us a copy? Because this right here is everything. And the squatty that posted this, or what reposted this, said, some husbands are out here playing as ever Olympics. Yes, they are doing the as ever Olympics. Wow, this is impressive. All I can say is I'm going to put this picture up. I'm happy for you. Just happy for you. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.